Guys, it's your girl Erline and welcome to Inner Beauty Out, and today we're doing a makeup tutorial, and this is featuring cream foundations and how to apply them. Now I know that it can be a little tricky, so I'm hoping that I've made this video simple enough for you to follow along. I'm using two main things to be able to apply the foundation, and that's really just a regular foundation brush as well as the beauty blender. And yes, you can use the beauty blender for cream products. I find that that gives you the most airbrush looking look, as long as you go with a light hand, and I'll tell you all about that within the next video. I'm actually using all black Opal cream stick foundations. I have depotted mine into a palette, and so I actually use most of these creams in my actual freelance makeup kit. However, obviously with sanitary, with disposables and whatnot, but I was able to custom blend how I wanted my highlight to look as well as my contour, so it wasn't so harsh and it still looked natural. So I show you exactly how I make this look like this in the end. So if you want to see how I put this look together, please stay tuned and I'll see you in my next video. Bye! So let's get started. As you can see, my face has already been prepped. I have color corrected, I have my base primers and all that jazz going on. So now I'm showing you a couple of the combinations of colors that I'm going to be mixing together to do my highlight, which is Truly Topaz, Heavenly Honey, and Beautifully Bronze, and the other two are for the contour, which is Beautiful Bronze as well as Suede Mocha. So because this is a depotted palette that I use on my clients, I've scooped out the product and mixed them on the back of my hand. I feel like when you mix things on the back of your hand, it warms up the creams and makes it easier to blend. So I've sprayed my beauty blender with Fix Plus just to get that ready, and a little bit, it's already moist, but I just wanted to add a little bit more moisture back into the sponge. And I'm using an e.l.f. foundation brush to apply only the lighter shade in the inner portions of my face. So normally where I would highlight, I'm just going in with the concoction that I mentioned earlier, which is Heavenly Honey, Beautiful Bronze, as well as Truly Topaz, just in the center of my face. So on the forehead, around underneath my eyes, in my chin, in my cupid's bow, and pretty much the outer perimeters where I also want to keep that color foundation going. So I'm just tapping this in little by little and just working my way around, just making sure that I have an even coverage around my face. The portions of your face that you want to leave empty is more so where you're going to place your contour color, and we're going to see that in the next clip. So I mixed Suede Mocha as well as Beautiful Bronze together because I felt like Beautiful Bronze has a little bit more of a yellow undertone, and then Suede Mocha has more of a red undertone. So mixing them together gave me a nice even contoured look that I really wanted to go for. More like a tanned colored look versus one being more dominant than the other. So I'm just going in the hollows of my cheek, around the perimeters of my face, as well as where I want to slim down my nose. So now you know the objective of highlighting and contouring is that you want the darker portion, or the darker color, which is the contour, to recede areas of your face, and the lighter portion is to bring out those features. So what I'm doing is using that in the method of my foundation, especially with these cream foundations. They work amazing. So I'm using my beauty blender, and it is already damp, and I'm just blending everything together. If you notice, I didn't blend out the highlighted portion before I blended out the contoured portion. I chose to do it all together so that they can integrate into each other and make it look as natural as possible. Take your time in blending because you don't want any harsh lines to show through, and you want to make sure that you have an even coverage. You want to go with a light hand because if you push too hard on the sponge, it will take away the product versus blending it out. Next, I'm going in with my real highlight, and for this video, I'm using the Maybelline Master Conceal in the shade Medium. I really like this concealer. It really reminds me of the Pro Longwear as far as the consistency of the actual liquid. I'm using a concealer brush by Sigma, and I'm actually getting this a little closer to the eye to make sure that there is an even distribution of product, and I'm also taking the time to clean up the edges of my eye makeup. It's always great to use a brush before using the actual sponge. The sponge will create the airbrush luminous look that you really want by blending and making sure none of the strokes of the brush appear. Keep in mind that your sponge has to be damp and not to push too hard so you don't take away any product that you've placed down. Next, I'm going to go and highlight the bridge of my nose, and again, this is awesome to use a brush for and then blending it out with the actual beauty sponge, but I'm taking the time to really carefully create the highlighted area of my nose as well as my Cupid's bow, and then I'm going to go back in and blend it out. Yes, girl, you want to snatch that nose. Alright, next we're going to make sure that all this hard work does not go to waste. So I'm using my favorite setting powder, which is by Xoxo Cosmetics, and it's in the shade Buttercup, and I'm using my same damp beauty blender, going in with the powder and literally placing it underneath the eye to set where I've highlighted. I'm going in with a generous amount, but tapping the powder very lightly as I go along so that there are no patches or wet spots that I'm drawing in. I want to make sure that everything is evenly coated with powder so that when I sweep away the powder that it doesn't patch up. As you notice, I kind of went a little too happy and put powder literally on my lips, but you don't need to do that. You just want to get the areas that you want to highlight, which is your Cupid's bow, your chin, and bring out the definition of your contour right underneath the contoured area. Now, in order to set my contour, what I'm doing is I'm using my two favorite bronzers, which are by CoverGirl in their Queen collection, and it's Ebony Bronze as well as Brown Bronze. And I'm using my Morphe brush, the Mini Detailer M178, and I'm just literally going in the areas in which I contoured, just making sure to set that up before I layer everything with powder. So I just want those colors to really stand out as being the deeper shade. Now to set my entire face, I'm using the MAC Studio Fix Powder Plus Foundation, and this is in the shade NW44. My favorite brush of all time to set my face is using the Sigma F25 tapered face brush. I just love how soft, and I love the fact that it's tapered. It can get into all the areas and curves around my nose, and I just love that about that. So there's not one area that's getting more product than the other. It's just evenly distributed. So make sure you blend away all of that Xoxo Cosmetics highlight powder because you don't want any yellow poking through outside of what you want to be highlighted. Next, I'm going in with my favorite of all time blush, which is by La Femme Cosmetics, and it's the shade Russet. Again, I'm using another Sigma brush here. It's the F18, and I'm just going on the apples of my cheeks and kind of bringing the color up to my temples because I just want it to be a very almost sun-kissed look, just a little bit of a peachy red tone to my face, and just to bring that color out and blending it in also with my contour. Now to highlight my face, I'm using my the Dynamic Duo, which is Gold Deposit and Global Glow by MAC Cosmetics. And I've introduced another player to this highlighting team, and I've used it before, but I just got reminded back as to how much I really loved it. It's the Becca Cosmetics in Opal, and I'm going in those highlighted areas of my face that I want to shine. When I turn that face, it better glisten, okay? And I'm using my Real Techniques setting brush to do that because I can control the amount of product and how I want it to blend out. And I just love this little brush for just literally setting the face even sometimes. It does the job. It really does. Alright girls, so get the high planes of those face, those high cheekbones, that nose, that Cupid's bow, girl, glisten for the gods. That was so terrible. Alright, so now I'm just making sure my hair is up to par because it was looking a hot mess earlier. And that's pretty much it. This is the actual look that I was going for. And actually, I hope this was simple in terms of putting cream foundations on your face. It's really a lot easier and less work than having to do liquid foundations and then doing the contour and highlight. It really kind of cuts the job down a little bit. So if you like this, definitely give me a thumbs up, subscribe, comment below, and share my video. And I'll see you in my next one. Bye, beauties.
Baby, please don't.